I'm a soldier. Julie arranged an appointment for me to see a counselor in early 1994. At first, I refused to go. It was all bullshit. What did they know? So, she gave me an ultimatum. If I didn't seek medical help, she would be forced to leave me. At first, even the threat of Julie leaving didn't bother me, as the feelings of suicide had grown stronger. But some days things did not seem so bad, and on one of those days, I plucked up the courage to see a counselor with Julie. It didn't work out brilliantly at first for lots of reasons, all of them to do with me. For a start, my depressed state had made me very selfish, and I couldn't see the mental anguish my pregnant wife was enduring, and I couldn't talk about my problems either. The counselor, a lady called Kath Kelly, tried hard, but I just clammed up. I'm a soldier. I can sort this out myself. Piece of piss. Next, I listened while Julie told Kath about my mood swings and depression, about how I had stood on top of a bridge overlooking the sea, drunk and threatening to jump, about the hosepipe she had found in the boot of my car, the endless, horrible catalogue of violent and irrational behavior that she had noticed and put up with in the 7 years that she had known me. Kath listened hard and focused straight away on the Falklands War, probing, asking questions, looking for clues, trying to elicit more information from me. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. The Falklands had ended a dozen years ago. What had that got to do with how I was now? She might as well have been talking to a boulder, but she seemed to think she was getting somewhere. At the end of the session, she told me, I think we can help you, but I need you to see a psychiatrist to be sure. Since you're finding it difficult to talk about your experiences, I would like you to go away and write down all your thoughts and feelings in a diary which we show to the psychiatrist. I took her advice, and this book, ultimately, is the result. I am incredibly grateful to Kath for her understanding and compassion. When I read the insane rantings I committed to paper in those early days, it's as if another person wrote them, someone at least 2 rounds short of a full mag. In some ways, that is true. Here are some of them. Some entries from my diary. 1994. Session with the counselor this morning. She has asked me to write down my experiences for her, and she's sorting me out some proper, professional help. Dreamt I had a rat in my mouth last night. Disgusting. I had a night terror in which I thought I saw a gremlin-type creature in the corner growling at me. I woke up terrified and covered in sweat and couldn't get back to sleep. Bad night terror as a creature was after me. Got my rifle to kill it. It really scared Julie. I was running around the room screaming, lunging at things that weren't there. Julie made me go to the doctors, and I'm taking tablets now. I hope they help, but I don't know if it's worth living like this. I have to take 1 Seroxat tablet every day and 1 temazepam tablet to help me sleep at night. Woke up in the middle of the night, as I do most nights. I say woke up, but the fact is I'm not really awake. It's a weird state somewhere between being awake and asleep. The temazepam aren't really helping all that much. I thought someone was stealing my watch. Then I thought I was having a heart attack. So I got up and started dialing 999, still in this half-asleep state. Julie stopped me, calmed me down, and persuaded me to get back to bed. I had an extremely bad night terror last night. I woke up and saw my arm severed on the bedside cabinet again. I'm starting to feel like my life is entirely pointless. I'm just a burden and an embarrassment to everyone. I woke up again during the night and found that I could not move. It was like I was paralyzed. I had this sense of impending doom. Despite me volunteering for the Northern Ireland tour, part of me is scared people think I'm just a coward. How can you be a soldier 1 second and the next a civilian and carry on as if nothing had happened? Civvies ask you when you get home, did you kill anyone? What kind of a question is that? What answer do they want? Mainly I feel like a coward because I didn't fight hand to hand and I let those men die on the Galahad. Extremely bad night terror. I was having all the blood from my feet squeezed upwards towards my head. I was screaming like a banshee, convinced I was about to die when my head would explode. It took about an hour for me to calm down. Thought my heart was going to stop. To me it was real. At the moment, I feel like I'm a worthless piece of rotting flesh. I am positive I would have been dead months ago if it were not for my wife. I take my antidepressants, and I am still depressed. I take my sleeping tablets so I can sleep, and I don't frighten my wife half to death, but they don't always work. Why does she put up with me? I'm 31, but I feel more like 91, and I've lost interest in everything. I can't even have a normal conversation anymore. I really feel sorry for the soldiers who fought in World War I and had shell shock and were shot as cowards. Maybe some were cowards, but many were not. I thought I was mentally very tough, a professional soldier. Was I wrong about myself all along? Another night terror. Corpses were holding me down. They pushed a grenade down my throat. I thought if I passed water it would pull the pin and detonate. Last night I had to get out of the house. I ended up sleeping on the beach in a trench. I felt almost like a corpse lying there. At about 2:30 hours I experienced a night terror. I felt like my tongue was being hacked out with a bayonet. I stripped naked and ran into the sea, trying to drown myself in the tide. It was too shallow, so I went back to the trench and put my clothes back on. I think about the Falklands all the time now. Our boots were crap. They let water in, and you could get trench foot. One soldier deliberately soaked his foot in water until it was so bad that he had to be airlifted out of combat and his socks surgically removed. The RGs had better boots than ours, so when squaddies found a corpse, they would take their boots off, hoping they were the correct size. Well, they didn't need them anymore. Some found boots with feet still in them and just squeezed the foot out and put it straight on. 9 Battery took photographs as they sat with their arms around corpses pretending to give them a cigarette. I didn't feel sorry for them at this time. That came much later, many years later. But some of the dead were children, 16-year-olds. Their bodies had limbs missing, whole heads missing, some still holding their rosary beads, with pictures of the Virgin Mary on their rifles. Their faces frozen in the horror of their own impending death. When I think of the smell of death, I think of 2 smells. 1, the smell of rotting human flesh. 2, opening the Rapier missile containers, smelling that sticky aroma. I can smell it now, kind of sweet. If you find this book of interest, please consider subscribing to Arch 12. Thank you. The author's book is Still Watching Men Burn, Fighting the PTSD War.